What's going on at Liverpool right now? Mohamed Salah's explosive statement has shocked fans. Steven Gerrard is questioning the club's identity, and now even Dominik Szoboszlai is reacting to the pressure at Anfield. In today's video, we break down all the latest Liverpool drama, Xabi Alonso updates, Trent's reaction, and what this means for Arne Slot's future. Before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe to Anfield Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool news and transfer updates. Dominik Szoboszlai agrees he's tired of carrying Liverpool after receiving backlash. Dominik Szoboszlai has liked a series of posts suggesting he has been carrying the team all season after receiving backlash for his social media activity. Dominik Szoboszlai has been engaging with comments on his latest Instagram post, giving his approval to one which stated, "By now bro is tired because of carrying us all season." The Liverpool midfielder found himself at the centre of scrutiny following the defeat to Aston Villa after a costly slip gifted the hosts a 2-1 lead just as the Reds appeared to be building momentum. Arne Slot's side had levelled through Virgil van Dijk, who headed home from Szoboszlai's delivery 5 minutes prior, with Rio Ngumoha also rattling the woodwork with an impressive effort. However, the Hungarian's blunder allowed Ollie Watkins to restore Villa's advantage. Villa ultimately ran out 4-2 winners, despite Szoboszlai teeing up skipper Van Dijk for his second goal deep into stoppage time. The defeat leaves Liverpool stumbling towards the finish line in this Premier League campaign, having gone 3 matches without a victory. The reigning English champion has suffered 19 defeats across all competitions, with 12 of those coming in the league. Its disappointing trophy-free season will draw to a close against Brentford next Sunday. However, Szoboszlai raised eyebrows by publishing a promotional post in partnership with McDonald's fewer than 24 hours after the Villa defeat. The comments section was swiftly inundated with Liverpool supporters branding the post, which featured the player smiling, laughing and eating fast food, as ill-timed and dismissive of the club's plight. The 25-year-old, however, made his position abundantly clear by liking a string of messages from fans rallying behind him. Szoboszlai has enjoyed his finest personal season at Anfield, contributing 13 goals and 12 assists across 52 appearances, making him the leading candidate for the club's Player of the Season award. The Hungary captain liked a post that read, "By now bro is tired because of carrying us all season." He also liked comments that read, "2 assists last night, carrying us brother, the best of the best, the shining light in a really dark cloud," and "Bro had 1 mistake at the whole season and all the kids laughing at him. Why? He's carried Liverpool this season." A further, more detailed comment read, "For everyone moaning on this post, yes, the timing isn't great, but I can guarantee Dom didn't post this. This guy has carried us this season. We need him to stay. Let him eat his Big Mac in peace." Szoboszlai hit the like button on that one too. Saturday proved to be a turbulent day on social media for Liverpool's players, as Mohamed Salah published a lengthy statement containing pointed remarks directed at the embattled Slot. The Dutch manager and the Egyptian star have been at loggerheads this season, prompting Salah to request that Liverpool terminate his contract a year early. He said, "Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games." The post garnered likes from the majority of his Liverpool teammates, Szoboszlai among them. The injured Hugo Ekitike responded with a handshake emoji, while Curtis Jones offered a round of applause emoji. Jones also penned his own message. "Thank you for your continued support in a disappointing season. It's way off the standards expected at this football club." Responding to Salah's post, former Liverpool skipper Steven Gerrard remarked on TNT Sports, I think that he's sending a message to the outside that things in that Liverpool dressing room are not right. The identity's gone, and it's really hurting him to see it in front of his own eyes. That is quite damning to the Liverpool manager and the staff in terms of where this team's at. Crumbling is a strong word. The performance last night was terrible. It was awful. It was difficult to watch from start to finish. It hurt me to watch Liverpool last night. They were nowhere near good enough. Trent Alexander-Arnold reacts to Mohamed Salah's damning "yet another defeat" post. Trent Alexander-Arnold was among those to react to Mohamed Salah's explosive social media post that the Liverpool man wrote on Saturday, where he made his feelings clear. Former Liverpool defender Trent Alexander-Arnold was among those to react to Mohamed Salah's lengthy post on social media on Saturday, which called for a change of playing style at Anfield. Salah's post was also liked on Instagram by teammates Dominik Szoboszlai, Andy Robertson, Giovanni Leone, Wataru Endo, and Milos Kerkez, in addition to Harvey Elliott, with many interpreting it as a dig at head coach Arne Slot. Results and performances at Liverpool lately have not been good enough, with 3 more points still required to qualify for the Champions League. Midfielder Curtis Jones commented with a clapping emoji and later posted his own message to Liverpool fans, while Hugo Ekitike posted a handshake emoji to indicate his agreement with the sentiment that things have to improve. "I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions," Salah wrote. "It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen." Reds legend Steven Gerrard later responded to the message while he was appearing on TNT Sports coverage of the FA Cup final. "Mo Salah doesn't really speak much, and he doesn't tweet, and he certainly doesn't tweet like that," Gerrard said. "I think that he's sending a message to the outside that things in that Liverpool dressing room are not right. The identity's gone, and it's really hurting him to see it in front of his own eyes. I'm surprised of the timing. 1 game to go, his last game for Liverpool. You guys know, you've been involved in the media. He very rarely speaks. He's done interviews lately because he's obviously bringing the curtain down on an incredible Liverpool career. But that is quite damning to the Liverpool manager and the staff in terms of where this team's at. That's my opinion on that." Steven Gerrard voices damning Liverpool theory after Mo Salah's statement, "Identity's gone." Mohamed Salah will call time on his Liverpool career after the Reds' final day clash with Wolves on Sunday, having issued a stinging criticism of the club's current playing style. Steven Gerrard has described Mohamed Salah's lengthy social media post as damning, while questioning whether the Egyptian is speaking solely for himself or voicing the concerns of the wider Liverpool dressing room. In his post, Salah called for Liverpool to return to being a heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear, following its crumbling defeat to Aston Villa on Friday night. The forward has never shied away from expressing his views, and Liverpool clinched the Premier League title last season under Slot, who succeeded the high-energy Jurgen Klopp. The forward's scathing critique of the Reds' current style of play has widely been interpreted as a thinly veiled dig at the under-pressure head coach. Gerrard believes the 33-year-old, who will bring his Anfield career to a close at the end of the season, has signalled to the wider world that all is not well within the Liverpool camp. "Wow, listen, that is extremely interesting," he told TNT Sports. "Mo Salah doesn't really speak much, and he doesn't tweet, and he certainly doesn't tweet like that. So I think that he's sending a message to the outside that things in that Liverpool dressing room are not right. The identity's gone, and it's really hurting him to see it in front of his own eyes. I'm surprised of the timing. 1 game to go, his last game for Liverpool. You guys know, you've been involved in the media. He very rarely speaks. He's done interviews lately because he's obviously bringing the curtain down on an incredible Liverpool career. But that is quite damning to the Liverpool manager and the staff in terms of where this team's at. That's my opinion on that. Is he speaking off his own back for the sake of everyone else in the dressing room? It's strange. It's unusual. He's going to be doing a load of media around his last game, I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to the coming days because that's unusual for a Liverpool player, and it's unusual for Mo Salah. Liverpool's defeat against Unai Emery's side at Villa Park marked Liverpool's 19th defeat across all competitions this season, leaving its Champions League qualification in the balance. Gerrard acknowledged the painful nature of how comprehensively the Reds were outplayed in the Midlands. Crumbling is a strong word, he added. It's quite damning, the timing. It's unusual coming from Mo. The pressure's on the players and the pressure's on the manager because it's been nowhere near good enough. The performance last night was terrible. It was awful. It was difficult to watch from start to finish, and it hurt me watching Liverpool last night. I don't normally say that. It was a tough 90 minutes, and they got what they deserved. Villa were better all over the pitch. There was no fight, no passion, no pattern of play, no connection. They're not moving around the pitch together. Individuals were miles off what I know they can perform at. It hurt me to watch Liverpool last night. They were nowhere near good enough. Let's finish on that note. Xabi Alonso contract details emerge as Liverpool favourite set for Chelsea announcements. Xabi Alonso, the former Liverpool and Spain midfielder, is reportedly set to be imminently announced as the permanent replacement for Liam Rosinha at Stamford Bridge. Former Liverpool and Spain midfielder Xabi Alonso appears to be on the verge of becoming Chelsea's latest head coach, with a 4-year deal said to be in place for him to move to Stamford Bridge. Alonso is widely reported to be on the brink of replacing Liam Rosinha in West London, with Chelsea having also employed Enzo Maresca this season. The Italian was let go amid speculation that he could take over from Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, the team that beat Chelsea in today's FA Cup final. According to The Athletic, the agreement between Chelsea and Alonso is fully complete. It is suggested by RMC Sport that the 44-year-old will have a greater say on transfers than previous people to hold the position. Alonso has been out of work since he was fired by Real Madrid earlier this calendar year. He previously won the Bundesliga at Bayer Leverkusen, ending a long wait for a league title. As one of the game's most highly rated young coaches, the Premier League was the obvious next step. Chelsea is one of few options realistically available to him, given he would not have been interested in moving to Manchester United. Arne Slot, meanwhile, said on Thursday that he would be in charge next season at Liverpool. Plenty of Reds fans have put forward the possibility of the Spaniard taking over after a difficult campaign. I don't think I am deciding that alone by myself, but I have every reason to believe I am the Liverpool manager next season, Slot said before the 4-2 defeat to Aston Villa. First of all, I am contracted to this club, and second of all, from all the talks we are having. That is my take on it. If you don't have the best season, especially if you compare with last season, if you compare it with other seasons, you might have a different debate. But if you compare it with last season, this has definitely not been a great season, then it is also normal that criticism comes. We have all had our share, and with all, I mean the players have had their share, the manager has had their share, and other people in the club have had their share. That is how things work nowadays if you don't win the league. Liverpool concludes this season with a home game against Brentford next Sunday. It needs to win that match to be guaranteed of a place in the Champions League next term. Mohamed Salah referenced Jurgen Klopp twice in scathing Arne Slot's statement. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah referenced 2 Jurgen Kloppisms in a statement seemingly directed at Arne Slot and his teammates before his final Anfield appearance. Everyone at Liverpool knows that things have to improve next season. That has been clear for some time, with the noise and frustration around a difficult campaign growing. Arne Slot has spoken openly about the need to fix certain things, while Virgil van Dijk recently labelled the situation unacceptable. Since then, the results and performances have not changed. On Saturday, Mohamed Salah posted a lengthy message on social media that was soon followed up by a more succinct one from Curtis Jones. Quite simply, things need to look up this summer, whichever method the Reds choose to use to ensure that happens. I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers, and from believers to champions, Salah wrote on social media. It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal, attacking team that opponents fear, and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Within that, the references to Jurgen Klopp's tenure, a heavy metal style, and turning doubters into believers are clear. Going back to the German, though, is off the table. Arne Slot has attempted to implement a calmer style, and it worked during the season in which his side won the Premier League title. With a more balanced roster of players to choose from next term, he believes it will work again. At the final whistle at Villa Park, however, few Liverpool fans remained in the away end. Plenty had long seen enough, having had to witness similar collapses on multiple occasions in the last few months. Slot might well be right that Liverpool needs more pace and quality in the final third to be able to properly play the way that he wants, but for many, patience is wearing thin. Curtis Jones posts blunt message of his own minutes after Mohamed Salah's scathing statement. Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones and forward Mohamed Salah have had their say after a disappointing season for the Reds under Arne Slot, a year on from securing the league title. Liverpool midfielder Curtis Jones has followed up on Mohamed Salah's message on social media with a post of his own. "Thank you for your continued support in a disappointing season," Jones wrote. "It's way off the standards expected at this football club." Club captain Virgil van Dijk also thanked the travelling Liverpool fans for their support on the road this season, with the Reds struggling for consistency, especially outside of Anfield. Their defeat at Aston Villa on Friday was a 12th league loss of the campaign to date, with a Champions League place still yet to be secured before the final day. Earlier on Saturday, while the FA Cup final between Manchester City and Chelsea was playing out, Liverpool forward Salah issued a scathing statement where he said he wanted the Reds to get back to playing a heavy metal style and winning trophies. "I have witnessed this club go from doubters to believers and from believers to champions," Salah wrote on social media. "It took hard work, and I always did everything I could to help the club get there. Nothing makes me prouder than that. Us crumbling to yet another defeat this season was very painful and not what our fans deserve. I want to see Liverpool go back to being the heavy metal attacking team that opponents fear and back to being a team that wins trophies. That is the football I know how to play, and that is the identity that needs to be recovered and kept for good. It cannot be negotiable, and everyone that joins this club should adapt to it. Winning some games here and there is not what Liverpool should be about. All teams win games. Liverpool will always be a club that means a great deal to me and to my family. I want to see it succeed for long after I have moved on. As I've always said, qualifying to next season's Champions League is the bare minimum, and I will do everything I can to make that happen. Premier League star could be key factor in denying Harvey Elliott transfer lifeline. Harvey Elliott is eyeing a move away from Anfield this summer following a dismal loan spell at Aston Villa this season, where his lack of game time has stunted his development. RB Leipzig is reportedly exploring the option of signing Harvey Elliott, but it all depends on whether the German side can secure a deal with Brighton for Lone Star Brajan Gruda. The 23-year-old moved to Aston Villa on a season-long loan last summer in search of a fresh start. During the previous campaign, in which Liverpool won the Premier League under Arne Slot, Elliott played just 360 minutes of league football. After a bright start under Unai Emery, where Elliott scored Villa's first goal of the season in an EFL Cup clash against Brentford, things quickly began to unravel for the youngster. Aston Villa had a clause in the loan deal whereby if Elliott made 10 Premier League appearances, the Midlands side would be obligated to buy the player for £35 million. For reasons Villa manager Emery has not disclosed, Elliott has been used sparingly in order to avoid triggering that clause. Now confirmed to be returning to Anfield for pre-season, Elliott is reportedly considering a permanent exit. The good news for the 23-year-old is that there is interest from another club. The bad news is that it depends on another transfer deal. According to Bild, RB Leipzig is interested in bringing Elliott to the Bundesliga. However, it is not as simple as that. Brajan Gruda, who is on loan at Leipzig from Brighton, has made a significant impact at the German club this season, helping them secure Champions League football. There is no option to buy clause in the midfielder's loan contract, so a gap could open up in Leipzig's midfield. However, there is a strong chance that the German side will attempt to sign Gruda permanently if Brighton are open to a deal. If they are unable to reach an agreement with the Seagulls, Leipzig will reportedly turn their attention to Elliott. The report from Bild states that Leipzig are eyeing a deal for Elliott worth around £15 million to £20 million. Emery spoke about Elliott's situation ahead of Villa's clash with Liverpool. He stated, "To now explain about the reason for this decision is very difficult, or it is easy, but it is not the moment. Of course, it is something embarrassing for everyone involved. My apologies for Harvey Elliott is every day in my mind, but it is about responsibility. We have our responsibility, and Liverpool have their responsibility. It is something as a human and as a person, how the season has gone has been difficult." Slot also spoke on the matter and said, "I think for him, for everyone, it didn't work out as he wanted it, as we wanted it, and probably also how Villa wanted it, because you usually sign a player or bring him in on loan to use him. That hasn't happened a lot. That's not for me to answer why that is. But of course, it's never nice for a player not to make so many minutes, especially after the season he had with us, where he made, I assume, even more minutes with us than these 280. The reason Leipzig could secure a cut-price deal is due to Elliott's current contract situation at Liverpool. The youngster's deal is set to expire at the end of the 2027 season. In terms of business, Slot and Liverpool may be more interested in selling him for a fee rather than risking losing him on a free transfer when his contract expires.